I heard it might be snowing. Wow, all the little transports over there, carts. So wife moved her car, they made her run to the store. This is a restaurant. Hondi's she works at. Alright. We're gonna get back in, head to Salem. I didn't see, I was thinking about getting a hamburger somewhere maybe when I get back to Salem, so I saw this place. I saw sausage, gravy, and biscuits. I don't think I've ever ordered that in my life. I've tried it a few times. Other people had it. Not bad. It's just, it makes you feel a little heavy and sluggish. Wife said she didn't eat that. I said, no, I didn't. I didn't feel like eating a hamburger in front of everybody. So they got a little meat market down below, and all the new stuff's open finally. And they're packed. They got parking where I was just at. Most of the parking on the other side of the building. Been open since 1916. And the market just opened this year. So they did all this remodel. I'm always the one like, well, why don't you pick a new spot where you can just build a whole new buildings? You're in a might end up paying more to remodel the old. And it's just, I don't like cramped quarters like that. So at least you got more room now. A whole bunch of mini school buses over here. And they're all Chevy, yeah. How about that? So that Chevy Express stuff and GMC Savannah, great running engines and transmissions. So it says Columbiana County Head Start on that one. That'd be good for kayaks and campers, but them things would suck some gas. And the tires are pretty beefy little things. So they get a new Equinox coming out that's electric. They say 30 grand, and the stuff hasn't been the prices. Because we're interested in, saving a little bit, maybe trading this in on the Ford Pro truck or the Chevy Silverado. Now they're out of the range. They're closer to 50 now, probably. But regular gas trucks are outrageously expensive. So, oh, well, tow and haul is good. Nobody puts stuff in pickup trucks. They put them so high in the air for some strange reason now. They keep raising stuff up with us younger people. Oh, dear God, it's not going to flip for her, right? So the whole thing was, years ago when they did test on stuff, was the luggage over the trunk. If you'd had to lift it too far, that was a minus. Now they're just raising stuff, and there goes your gas mileage. And they come out with, I think, the Chevy trucks, the new fangled ones in '88, had little tiny headlights and stuff, and that's when the prices started going up. This full-size pickup trucks were the cheapest things on the lot. You could get a Chevy Chevette or a Chevy C10 pickup. You could get a Ford Escort, or you got a Ford F-150, bare bones. And pickup trucks were used for work. They were abused. And then they became the most expensive things on the lot with all the plush things. And shoot, it was 30-some years ago you'd start seeing them that said 4x4 off-road. And we're taking them off-road. They were $30,000 to $40,000 back then. Now you can get them up way more than that. Well, we get the heat on all day today. Snow might cancel our plans tomorrow or the rest of the week. I'm taking this out and stuff. And it's not what you're thinking. It's the same reason. Like I said, I think In 2001, we bought a 1983 Ford van. After going out to eat, it was at the Ford dealer. Oh, that's nice. Well, it started 7 passenger. The seats were pretty deadly dangerous in that thing. And we went camping in there, went on little family trips, took mom places, stuff, and did outings with friends and families. And it's a nice van. I wouldn't drive it in the Salto unless it was a dire emergency. So it had some damage here and there, but shoot, it's pretty old. And then the front end's becoming loose. It's one of those that had 85 mile an hour speedometer, and 55 was top center and circled. So I went camping and then I tried to get on the freeway, and there's too much work to keep her at 55, and really a job at 60, and sweating at 65 to keep it between the lines. So I looking up Chevys, and I was looking up Fords, and they had trouble with the steering boxes. The frame would crack where the steering box was on, hooked on for a long time. So I looked into Chevys and traded my Cadillac for a beat-up Chevy truck that came across the border from Pennsylvania. Well, they hit a bunch of rust and painted over it. But I still have it. It's a great running thing. Rusty, crusty is what I call it. Engine and transmission are fantastic. Nothing leaks in there. So, liked it so much. 2-3 years ago, we went and bought a newer van. Turn-in lease or rental. The big extended one, it had 3 rows of seats in the back instead of 4. I wanted the 4 so I could pull out 2 and then have lots of leg room for the 2 remaining bench seats in the back. And ran a 14-foot kayak up the middle. For the love of God, turn sometime. It must be related to the last one. So we double, triple cleaned the seats and everything since it was a rental, and they looked like new. Did the carpets and all that over several times. Came up with my own cleaner ideas, and it worked great. Wonderful thing. Electric windows, fully loaded. Rode like a brick compared to the cargo what I have now, which is a 1500. It was like, you know, they're not made the same or anything underneath. I don't recognize. So thing was, we're not driving this in the salt. If it's an emergency, we'll call Uber or rent somebody else's van. So that long thing sat in the garage the last few winters, not being used. And if the weather turned out nice and it was after a rain in the winter with the salt washed off the road, we'd go for a ride. Much better gas mileage than the lighter 1500, which is a 2008. Never got what it said it would do on the highway, but it had like an 8-speed transmission. It was nice, very nice. I liked lots of room, and each van I had pillow and blanket because of my neck, and that was the whole point of having the vans. You got the bad neck, you lay down every once in a while so you don't get violently ill. So come around the winter, the van turned out to be worth more than I paid for it. I said, you know what, I've been interested in electric cars or hybrids since we test drove a Prius in 2002. I've still got the brochure on that. And I think it was the newer Honda Insights I had over in Pennsylvania north. Maybe Mercer or somewhere around that area, and the guy says he's got some coming back on lease, low mileage. He said they're not like the old ones, they're pretty big cars. He says they're nice, they can get you 50 miles a gallon. I said, holy crap, I'm interested in that. But I kind of wanted a brand new car, it's been a while. So I'm looking at everything, Subaru Crosstrek, Subaru Forester, all kinds of stuff. hybrids. Prius is too small. And then I realized, he said, you know what, I don't want more moving parts in a car, I want less. I'm old, they got all this new electric stuff, let's try something new in life. And a few of these popped up, and there's a chain in Pittsburgh that took over a whole bunch of car deals. And this is the first one I went to, and it was a turn-in lease. And they either got a good car dealer or the detailer there, or the guy turned it in. You know, it had 5,900 miles. So basically traded in the van, got this little car, and I'm tickled pink. It reminds me of my dad driving around in the Volkswagen Rabbit, except I got a hell of a lot more room. He got 50 miles a gallon in that little diesel thing. And I don't buy gas. I don't buy oil. I got windshield washer fluid left over from last year. I put in a cabin air filter. Went down there, got the tires rotated a few weeks ago. They charged me $28 to check out the car and rotate the tires for me. And said there's nothing wrong. I said, yeah. Actually, one of the complaints I have, sometimes the radio turns on when you start the car, either to radio and you got the little hiss, or music you weren't playing before you stopped. So far that's my only complaint on this thing. They didn't reset the tire maintenance thing, so I did that. Figured that out. I love it. The more I drive it, the more I love it. You know, the people talk about it's original this and that, second generation Levi's. I'm in here and I'm like, this car's doing way more than I ever expected it to. This thing is awesome. So we don't want to drive in the salt, just like the new van. We don't want to drive it in the salt. If you saw the old van, you'd like, oh yeah, that's what happens to the Chevy vans. Well, yeah. So that thing's rusted where we had the frame repaired, and the body, it just didn't show much rust at all when I bought it. So the guy had like red tape around the frame and then hit it with undercoating where the rear leaf shackle went on, and that's where he hit the frame that was going bad. So we were going out for our birthday or anniversary one day and felt something give way, and that was it. So A1 frame repair in Alliance, like $600 some. And then, like I said, we got the new van and sit during the salt. The wife's got her new Chevy. She doesn't want to drive it in the salt, so we kept her Nissan Murano. And we're going to share that over the winter to do our errands because it's all-wheel drive. So we're at the age now, you know, this might be the last time we buy something new unless I trade this in pretty soon. To save, you know, because I've got a lot of cash equity in this. And because if you just drive a new car until it's, you know, worn out, you lose your cash equity. If you want to know why people get new cars every 2-3 years or every year, yeah, it's because they build up a cash equity making the payments. And this one I've probably got, what was that, 15 grand that goes toward a new car on a trade-in. So too many miles or too many years and that drops. So take just the right size since it fits the cat trike and everything. I might be able to camp in the back, but I still got the van to do that. But the electric car is tempting because you can actually turn it on without turning the drive-away ignition on. You can hit the button twice and run the windows and run the heat and air conditioning while you're in. Just leave it on all night. And you either warm up or cool down. Or just have fresh air coming in without the windows open. So some Teslas have a camp mode. I did a lot of driving today compared to what I planned. The odometer's 121.9. We probably got 5 miles to go. Range is down to 86 after we turn the heat on and stuff. So that gives you an idea. I think the heater's going to use more than the AC. The AC just didn't factor in. Like I said, and then if you're getting a bind where you need to get somewhere, you just turn everything off and go. So they do recommend you get a heated seat or heated steering wheel, which uses very little energy compared to the electric heater. So I'm a little cold because I got wet going out and doing the videos for the signs and then going to get lunch. So yeah, the sausage thing, I feel it like it's like eating greasy donuts. After I left, I'm like, but yeah, I've never ordered that in my life. In case something happens, you can run a defibrillator for me. Don't go on my side too much. Was it the Hummer that's got 3 wipers in the front? So this guy makes a video where, like I said on a video earlier, where he's in a left turn lane and he's got some kind of update to do on his Hummer. So he does it in a left turn lane and the thing shuts down. Trying to update, and he thinks something's wrong with it. I get this email in the wife's Equinox, even though we canceled OnStar, she's going to get updates for the car through OnStar. If they need to do anything or update anything, they'll be automatic, and it'll show up on the dash, and you just hit OK. This is, do not do it while you're on the road or traveling. Do it while you're stationary and stuff. I said, well, there you go, Mr. Hummer broken down. So the guy, tow truck driver, says, well, maybe they had to find the 12-volt battery to unhook it to reset stuff. So, yeah, this is changing into a sleet or snow right now. Yeah, we're not going to drive new stuff in the snow. I got to wax the roof of the Murano. I need a ladder to do that, and then her Chevy, I ran her through the car wash a couple days ago, and she drove it. Well, they're spinning tires. She drove it to work yesterday in the rain, and then today, so I'm going to have to run it through the car wash again, and then give her 1 or 2 coats of wax before winter. But never waxed the old cargo van, but I did the new passenger van a couple times. That took some time. Never did the roof, though. Oh, Mullins Park. Well, here we are, historical district of Salem and South Lincoln. And 1929 used to be Lincoln. And when you went by Main Street, north was Garfield, right was McKinley, left was Main Street. Corner up there was called Assassination Corner since 3 of the presidents were assassinated. Yep, turning the snow. Wow. So these new Volkswagen Beetles, not that one, that's the original new one. The new ones that are just gorgeous. If you ever ask me what my favorite Porsche was, it's the new Volkswagen Beetle. It's just gorgeous. It's a winner. It is beautiful. And just like that Nissan Kicks that was in the showroom, if I was a rich person, I would buy one of those just to have it on display to look at. The Nissan Kicks was amazing. So I got new car and drivers. It's in the mail today, 2 of them. So I got a brother that, he's been into Road and Track, Car and Driver, and all those magazines since he was a teenager. And I have never liked modern cars. They just were so many dismal things they put out since the 70s. You go back to the late 60s, and it was probably the best, easiest cars to maintain, to the point the rings didn't wear out, and it's just real simple. The bodies weren't all gruesome and full of fins and oversized. You had to replace and clean spark plugs all the damn time and change oil because they had the open breathing system for years on American cars for the crankcase fumes. And then with all the smog stuff and everything, things just went more dismal than ever. And just never been excited about cars until now. And all the features you get and everything. So if you haven't bought a new car for a while, I mean, in the last 5-7 years, they're incredible what they give on these things. Kent State used to be our junior high school, and it was a high school built in 1916, or opened for 16. And Alan Freed, you know, the rock and roll guy, went to school there, graduated in 1940. So this is 2nd Street. Used to be, is this 2nd Street? Yeah, it used to be Green Street. 3rd Street was High Street back in, you know, a century or so ago. All right. Shut everything down here. If you would, like and share. And we got videos covering all kinds of stuff on electric cars and trips we take. And we'll see what the weather's like tomorrow. We're going to maybe do a trip to Canfield and explain, like we did today, about all the motels. Because there's a whole slew of them between here and Alliance. Because that's US 62. Today we did US 30. 62 runs between Niagara Falls and El Paso, Texas. It's like a Route 66 parallel. They didn't shut anything down on it. So that shows you the traveling they did with the old cars. And they didn't go far. Like I said, service stations, restaurants, there just wasn't places open on it. You might have had some of that in the big cities, but not in most of the country. So, US 62. Hopefully tomorrow, and we'll do a little loop around town, do some alley shots on a video. Alright, getting close to home. Have a great day. Like, share if you would, please. And talk to you later.